Alright guys, so here we are. I got Streamlabs installed, and this is what we see. Now I want to throw this out there. When you install Streamlabs, it might ask you to sign in to your streaming platform, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. So we're going to act like it does not. We're going to act like you've installed Streamlabs, but you have not been asked yet to sign in to your streaming platform. With that being said, you want to go down to the left-hand side, this little gear cog. Click that. It's going to open up your settings screen, right? Now, you're going to spend a lot of time in this settings screen. At least I do. And the reason for that is because you're going to constantly be fine-tuning things, right? Until you find what is best for you. Now, the first thing I recommend doing is going to this auto-optimize button. This is going to be on the first screen you see when you pull up settings. And if it's not, click this general tab and you'll see this button. Click auto-optimize and hit start. Now, I'm not going to do that because my settings are already optimized for my specifications, and we're not going to get into specifications and what's required for Streamlabs or streaming in general in this video series. If that's something you guys want to see, leave it down in the comments, and we can make that happen. Now, after you do that, you're going to go back down here to your settings cog. Open up that settings again, and then click Stream. Once you see that screen pop up, you are not going to see the 3 platforms that you see right now. The reason for that is because Streamlabs does not know which platform you are signing into. Again, if it asked you to sign in when you installed, you are probably going to see the one that you signed into right now. If you do not see it, follow these steps. Add destination, sign in, whatever you're using. I want to put this out there without going into too much detail, but I never recommend streaming to 2 separate platforms at once. Multiple reasons behind this. Again, we could do another video on this if you guys want to hear about it. But remember that whatever platform you signed into Streamlabs with is going to be your primary platform, meaning that if you do want to stream to multiple platforms, whatever one you are signed into Streamlabs with, you are forced to stream to. So, if you want to just stream to Facebook, you have to sign into Streamlabs with Facebook first. Twitch first if you want to use Twitch, YouTube first, yada, yada, yada. After you've done that and everything logs in and you get to the point where you're back in your settings cog, you're going to go back underneath Stream and hit Output. Under Output, you're going to see a whole bunch of settings that you're really not going to bug with right now. You're really not going to mess with those. But I want you guys to make sure your output mode is on Simple. I believe it defaults to this, but if it doesn't, click Simple. Now, when you run that auto-optimize, it's going to test multiple things. It's going to test your bitrate or your upload speed. It's going to test what encoder is best suitable for your upload speed and your PC specifications. And it's going to select the optimized settings that it thinks your PC can handle while streaming and gaming simultaneously. Now, this is the screen that I say you guys are going to spend a lot of time in because you're going to have to fine-tune this, okay? You're going to have to really hone this in. Now, for the moment, for my last couple streams over the last couple days, 4500 bitrate's been perfect for me to stream at 720p and 30 frames a second. I am a new Twitch affiliate, so I don't know if you can stream in 1080p, and I don't know if you can stream in 60 frames. So if somebody knows about that, throw that down in the comments because I really don't have a lot of info on that. But for the sake of this video, and for the sake of my network connection, 4500 seems to be the most stable for me. So, again, mess with that on your own and see what works best for you. But I recommend leaving it what your auto optimizer set it at. Now, encoder's going to be the main thing that you're going to be changing at the moment. If you have an NVIDIA RTX graphics card and it is series 2070 or higher, and I might even be wrong about that, it could be 2070 Super and higher, then you will not have NVENC or NVENC or NVENC new available, or it will be crossed out or whatever. Now, if you don't have an RTX card that has NVENC, You will only be able to use software X264. If you have an AMD Radeon card, even if you have the top of the line Radeon, the 5700 XT, you will not have NVENC. This is an NVIDIA exclusive, okay? Now, NVENC basically is short for NVIDIA encoder. And what this does is NVIDIA decided that they knew a lot of people were going to use their graphics cards while streaming games, right? So they decided that they were going to put a dedicated processor essentially on their PCBs or their microchip boards for their graphics cards that handles 75 to 85% of the encoding workload. Now, encoding is what your microprocessor chips have to do to downscale from your streaming resolution or your native resolution to your streaming resolution. So all of that is a bunch of written code that runs through our microchips that we spend all this money on, right? Well, NVIDIA decided that they were going to help us out with that. So if you have that RTX card and you have NVENC available, use it. If you have NVENC new, use it. Again, I don't know the exact difference, but I do know that I find NVENC new is more stable. Okay, so NVENC new, if your RTX 2070, I'm going to say 2070 Super, I think it is. RTX 2070 Super or higher, you should have NVENC new. Don't mess with your audio bitrate because, again, this is going to be something that you can focus on later on down the road and you can kind of fine-tune yourself. Now, these two boxes right here, Enable Advanced Encoder Settings. I recommend that you check Enable Advanced Encoder Settings and that you change it to Low Latency Quality. Now, what this is going to do is allow you to interact with your chats with less delay, but it's not going to sacrifice quality of video, okay? Again, this might be based on the power of your PC. And with that being said, I want to make this clear that this video is solely if you are gaming and streaming on the same PC. This video does not cover if you are using a capture card with your consoles or another PC into a streaming PC. This is strictly if you are gaming and streaming from the same PC, guys. So after all that said and done, we're going to leave recording alone. We can cover that in a later video. And we're also going to leave audio alone because in the third video, we're going to cover audio and mixer settings and how to get everything balanced. After you do your output mode settings and everything's optimized in that part, you're going to go down to video. And then this is another really important step that I think a lot of people overlook because most of the time the auto optimizer is going to default your base resolution and your output resolution the same. Now, again, if somebody can clarify whether or not you can stream in 1080p as a Twitch affiliate or partner, please put that in the comments because I really don't know. But for the sake of this video, I always stream in 720p because as far as I know, most streaming platforms will only scale things to 720p. There's multiple reasons why I leave it at 30 frames as well, okay? Most people that are Twitch viewers or that watch your streams on Facebook or YouTube are doing it on a mobile device, right? They're doing it on a cell phone, they're doing it on a tablet or an iPad, and so you're not going to see with your eye the difference between 30 and 60 frames because those devices upscale everything we're watching to their native resolution anyway, right? So you're really not going to see that because it's such a small screen. Now, if you're watching it on a 55-inch big screen, yeah, you're probably going to see the difference between 30 and 60 frames, but most people are not watching Twitch or YouTube or whatever on a big screen, right? So we're going to leave our native resolution, our canvas resolution, to whatever our monitor is set to. So whatever monitor we're using is going to be our canvas resolution. Our output, we're going to downscale that, right? We're scaling, we're going to downscale that to 720p. Downscale filter. Now, this is totally up to you guys. I don't know the performance impact of these settings, and I don't know exactly what they do, but I do know that based on my eyesight, I've found that the LAN CZOS, I'm going to call it LAN, and the 32 sample sharpened scaling gives me the best image quality on stream. So one of those things that if you guys want to mess around with that and play with that, feel free to. And then FPS type, I always leave it common. If you start messing with this stuff or try to force it into a certain FPS or try to keep it somewhere, it can cause instability, and you might drop a stream or something. And we all know that usually happens when you're having a killer stream, right? We don't want that to happen when we got a bunch of people watching and chatting and hanging out. So, all right, well, I'm going to leave this video right there because the rest of these things are pretty self-explanatory in this menu. And as you get more and more into Streamlabs, you guys can figure a lot of this out, and if you don't, you can leave me messages or comments and let me know that's something you want to see a video about. And if you like this video and you want to learn a little bit more and go past this next step, part 2 is coming up next. So hang on, man. Let's do this.